So let's take out the darts. So I'm going to measure from here to get 4.5 inches here, and I'm going to fold the 4.5 inches, and that's because we've taken out half an inch for the zip tightening here, and then I'm going to be taking out half an inch for the darts all the way to here, 5 inches. So I'm going to iron this. Okay, I'm going to iron them before we start attaching them to the yoke. Let me do the same thing for these ones. So where is the 5 inch here? I'm going to run a straight stitch, a loose straight stitch on this lace piece we are going to be using for the flare sleeves. So when I pull on this, it will gather. I'll do the same for this Ankara piece that we're going to be using for the cap of the sleeve. So now I am going to start joining the pieces. Since it's a curved area, you have to be careful as you're curving it little by little. Lining piece as well. So here I've sewn one part. I'm going to go ahead and sew the other side as well. And remember that when you are going to iron it, you are going to cut here open, cut it close to the sewing seam line, so that when you iron it, it will lay flat and there will be no poofy part on that bust area. So all the curved areas, when you're ready to iron them, you're going to open it up like so. And then when I'm ironing, I'm going to open up the seam line like this and iron it flat, and use stay to hold the iron stay on top like this to keep it laying flat. Okay, it helps to relax it. So now I'm going to iron it. I'm going to iron them after sewing. Okay. So I have ironed all of them. After sewing, I've ironed it, and this is it. Taking out the dart. This is for the lower bodies, and as you can see, these are all ironed out. And this is the upper bodies. This is the front upper bodies, as you can see. This is the, look at the dart, the cup area standing on its own, like it's so wonderful. You can see this is really cute. And so look at the ironing. I told you guys I'm going to open, so I opened it up while I was ironing it so that we can keep it in place, to give it more neatly finished outside, and it came out nice like that. Okay, so and then here are the back pieces as well. Okay, all ironed. Now next what we're going to do is join them. I'm going to start joining them. This is the front. Okay, I'm going to start joining them, and I'm going to be joining lining to lining and main fabric to main fabric. So at the end of the day, it's going to give us the inside is going to look even cleaner when you do it like that, because one is going to be concealing the other. So this is the middle of the lower bodies. I'm just pinning it. Okay, first confirm. Okay, and then the middle of the upper bodies. I'm going to pin this together. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew, run the line straight and all the way here to give her this. Okay, and I'll do the same thing for the back pieces as well and the lining pieces. Now for the sleeve, this is it. We're going to just take this up. This is the gather for the one with borders for the hem here. So I'm going to fold this in half, and remember we have run a straight loose stitch on it so that we can gather it, okay, to have that effect. So I'm going to mark the middle, find the middle of the sleeve, okay, and I'm going to pin them together. Now the plan here is to gather it until the length of the both of them will match. Okay, so like this. Now the way it is now, this is where the length of the sleeve is. This is where it stops, and this one extends. So I'm going to just gather this all the way, gather it until they match, and I'll do the same thing on this side. I'll gather it together. Just keep pulling one of the thread. I believe you guys know how to do gather. Just pull one of the thread until it gathers, and we pin it together. And then for the top part, this other one, this other effect that we're going to keep on the back, I also ran a loose stitch on it, on the curved part of it, and I'm going to also gather it at the top. So first we're going to find the middle. This is the middle. I'm going to pin it, and then we'll find the middle of this one, and make sure to run this stitch after you folded this to the right side, because this is the right side, and because there's no joining here, so both here and here are both right sides of the fabric. That's exactly what we wanted. So I'm going to be pinning it middle to middle, okay, like we did for the down part. And then for the back side, like I said, you know, this I marked the difference of the back and the front, because the front has a little bit of difference, like half an inch difference from the back. So for the back side, we are going to come in first of all, you take out the 1 inch for joining allowance, for joining the sleeve for the side, for sewing the sleeve side, okay? And then from that 1 inch, you take out another 1.5 inch. So in total, you're taking out 2.5 inches, and that is where. So from this 2.5 inches, that is where this one is going to stop. So from this 2.5 inches you have marked from this side on the back piece, on the back side of the sleeve, you're going to make sure these rough edges all enter. You're going to stop here like this, and you will pin it. And we are also going to gather the excess until it matches the length of the sleeve at the top. And then for the front side, you're going to go in by 3 inches. Instead of there, the back was 2.5. You're going to go in by 3 inches. You're going to pin it and pin the edge, the other edge of this. Okay, pin it here as well, and gather it. You gather it until they match. Okay, just pull together. So this is it. Just pull gently, and as you're pulling it, you're going to evenly spread the gathers so that the gather will be everywhere and not just concentrated in one side. So as you pull it, you gently adjust the gathers, and when you are done, you are going to pin everything together, because if you don't pin it, it might loosen and stuff. So I'm going to pull it so that the gather will not be concentrated only on one side. So just keep readjusting it until it fits. So here, I'm just going to go ahead and pin. Pin everything together. So by the time we are done, this is what you're going to have after you are done pinning everything together. This is the other sleeve. I have already pinned everything together, and I've gathered it to fit. As you can see, I've gathered it to fit. And mind you, you are doing all of this at the front side of the lace piece, okay, on the right side. And this is it. This is the down part. I have also gathered it to fit, as you can see. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and sew here. First, sew this together, and then we'll have the complete sleeve ready, so that when we're ready to attach the sleeve to the bodies, it will be easier. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this joining now, and then next thing I'm going to be doing is using the bias piece. Now this is the yoke, the front yoke, but most importantly the back yoke. This is where we're going to be using the. Okay, so for this back yoke, this place that is supposed to be like this, I'm going to be using bias piece. I'm going to sew a bias piece on it and turn it, and then cover it to conceal here neatly before we will now attach the yoke to the upper bodies. Okay, so let's get to the machine and start this sewing. Okay, alright, so I've sewn this place and I'm just going to top stitch it. How neat it is. Okay, let me repeat the same thing on this side. Alright, so this is the right side of the lace, and I'm going to be placing the bias on that right side, and I'm going to start sewing it. And then on this curved part, this place, I'm going to make a notch so that it will relax, and then I'm going to turn it this other way to the wrong side, and then I'm going to top stitch it. And so here we have this, and then like I said, I'm going to fold in here like so that this will be on top of it like this. This will be under this. So I'm folding in the 1 inch that came out from here, so I'm going to be folding it in. I'm going to hem that 1 inch by folding it twice. And so I have this to come here and lap on this like this. Okay, so what I actually need is just half of an inch for it to lap on each other. So this is it, and this will be the neckline. So I'm going to fold in 1 inch as well on this side. Sorry, I'm going to fold in half an inch on this other side. And so this is going to be overlapping each other just by half an inch like this. And now we're going to be joining the yokes. This is the front yoke. I'm going to turn it to the right side like so, and I'm going to be placing these ones on it. This is going to come here like this, and this is going to come here like so. I'm going to be joining the shoulder lines for the yoke. So the yoke is now one piece, and this is around the neckline. So I'm going to be measuring this neckline so I can know the length of fabric I will cut out that I used to create the bishop neckline. So I have 15.5 here. So I am going to cut out a band that's going to be, so at the end of the day when I'm done sewing it, to be like to have like 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to be making it 3 inches so I can fold it in half